Day 5. I am scooting off to a outlet store at the moment to go and have a look at some sunglasses again. I've been working on my car this morning. So a little bit of background. It's a 1976 Mitsubishi Galant GTO. It's very rare over here. It didn't sell over here. It was too expensive when it came out, so everybody bought alternative cars. But it's awesome, and I've wanted one for years and years and years, and I was very, very lucky that a few years ago one came up not very far from me and I picked it up. Incredibly lucky. I thought I was going to have to import one, but I've restored it, I've put a different engine in it, and I'm trying to get it ready for a car show at the end of the week. At the end of this week, this coming week, so it's Sunday now, and I'm trying to get it ready for Friday. We go out, and it's a car show. It's about, well, it's exactly 76 miles away in the route that I take, or the route that I want to take. And there's a campsite there, take a tent, and catch up with a load of friends. It's really, really good fun. But trying to get the car done for last year, and it failed its MOT on a number of things, which is a bit of a pain. And I'm really close now, and it's all ready for it to go in for its MOT. But it's not running right. It's running rich. I'm not entirely sure why. So I've changed a lot of things and tidied a few things up and checked for air leaks and vacuum leaks. And the last thing that it throws up an error code on the TPS, which is the throttle position sensor. So on the front of the throttle bodies, there's a little sensor that tells the ECU how open the throttle is, so how much you've got the accelerator there, and then it will vary the amount of fuel that goes into the throttle body mixture depending on where the accelerator pedal is, or the throttle position is. And it's throwing up an error message on that, on the ECU code, which I finally figured out how to pull off. So you can set it up so it twists. There's two bolts, and you can undo the bolts, and then the throttle position sensor twists a tiny bit, so you can kind of set it to neutral, and then whenever you accelerate, it then knows where neutral is, where not accelerating, in theory, idle should be. But it's because I've rewired the whole thing, I now can't get a multimeter across the two wires which I need to, because they're now all sealed up in these funky cool clips which I bought and used. So they're like marine, watertight clips. So I've had to take the TPS off, and I've stripped away one of the wires, and I've put two little extensions in. I've got to solder those in, but I couldn't find the solder. Finally found the solder, heated the soldering iron up, but I could feel myself getting really. So made myself a cup of tea. So I have my Starbucks cup of tea. Thank you very much, Starbucks. It's just a Starbucks cup. I made the tea myself. So it's fab. I do like doing it. I post a picture on Instagram every time I do a shoot. It's turned into a little piece of amusement for me now. So every time I finish a photo shoot, at the beginning when I started doing the shoots, I used to be so excited for finishing them. I'm still really excited when I finish them, but I used to be so excited when I finished the photo shoots that I'd stop on the way home and have a McDonald's or a Starbucks, not a KFC, because I completely went off KFC. I had too many bad burgers from them. So I had a McDonald's or a Starbucks, and I'd take a photo of the back of the camera with one of the favourite pictures of the one of my favourite pictures from the shoot up on the back of the camera with a McDonald's milkshake or a burger or whatever I was eating. I was like, yes, photo shoot done, blah blah blah. Anyway, it turned into a bit of a joke, so I tend to keep doing it now. It's a little bit of amusement for me. It's a post-photo shoot Starbucks, as I seem to go to Starbucks an awful lot. I know where all the Starbucks are. I just like the tea. And so I've got my Starbucks, I've got my cup of tea, heading out to a little outlet village because I know there's a sunglasses hut there. I tried on a pair of sunglasses yesterday in town. They were really cool, but I didn't like the frame, so I've had a search through Oakley's website and I've found 2 or 3 frames that I really like. Fingers crossed they're going to have some here. I'm going to try them on. I'll post a picture of them on Instagram maybe, and then I'll go back and I will finish the TPS and I will set it up and I'll put it back on the car. I'm just really worried that I'm going to have done the TPS, I've changed, so it's got a new temperature sensor on it, new temperature sensor in the coolant pipes, so that tells the ECU how hot the engine is, because as the engine gets hotter it needs less fuel injecting into the mixture, because it's running hot, always running warm. It's got a new mass airflow sensor, so that's all fitted. I made a little foam gasket so that so it's completely sealed in now. There's no air leaks on the air filter now. So it's got that. I've blanked off the exhaust gas recirculation valve. I'm still not entirely sure that's blanked off as best as I can, so I'm going to order a very, very small piece of 6mm aluminium plate to make sure that's completely sealed up, so I can get a bit more pressure into tightening that and bolting that up. So I've got that to do. So I've changed that. I've cleaned everything, gone through everything, and it's just getting to the stage now of, if I do the TPS and that hasn't sorted it out either, I'm at a lost cause and I don't know what to do. And that will probably be because there don't seem to be any experts on this engine, and that will probably be, well, there are experts on the engine, but I can't get the car to them because it's not on the road, it hasn't got an MOT. So that's the thing, as soon as it's MOT'd, it'll be fantastic, because I'll be able to drive it, if I can get it running properly, I'll be able to drive it to all these little specialist places who I've been talking to, and they've been really excited to see it and tune it and work on it and upgrade the power like slowly, things like that. But as soon as it's roadworthy, I can do that. But because it's not roadworthy, I'm really struggling to get it to places where it needs to be. So luckily I've got a friend of mine who's a mechanic who works 2 minutes drive away from where I live. So he was able to get there under his own steam and then get back as well. So he's got it all ready for his MOT. It's just this running issue which I've got to sort out. So TPS, that's going to go back on tonight. It would have got done this morning, but I kept getting interrupted by rain. And now typically when I've gone and gone to shop for some sunglasses, the sunglasses have come out. So anyway, I'll hopefully have some cool blue sunglasses. It's so materialistic. Like, why do I desperately need a pair of blue sunglasses? I don't know why. Anyway, that'll be for the Retro Rides Gathering, so the car show which I'm going to. I will hopefully have a pair of blue sunglasses and my Galant. Oh, please, come on! It's got to get done. Last night I went and did all my stretches in the gym. An awful long time, about an hour. So that was all I did, and then a little bit sore today. But I'm going to go back in later on. So once the TPS and once the light has gone, light seems to be dropping at about 8 o'clock at the moment. So once that's gone, I'm going to go back into the gym tonight again, just for a little bit. We'll do some squats. Still haven't picked up any weightlifting shoes, so that will be something for the future. But until then, let's avoid that, shall we? Until then, I think that's everything. What else has gone on? Oh, we've got. I was chatting to Ash today about some more of the archery stuff. We're going to do some rapid 3D printing prototyping with carbon fibre reinforced nylon, which is going to be really, really cool. So that's going to allow us to actually test the product, the prototype, rather than just see what it looks like and have it in our hand, because the resin ones that we were getting done they're not strong enough. So Ash's bow that he pulls, it pulls at a 60-pound draw, so these little resin ones won't be able to pull 60 pounds, but these carbon fibre reinforced ones are probably 10% more expensive to get 3D printed, and are going to be strong enough that we can actually get them printed, get the models printed, a prototype printed up, and then test the functionality of it as well. The weight won't be there, which is a little bit of an issue with some of the hinge releases that we're going to design, because as they get lighter, you kind of lose the feel on where you're hinging, which is why some of them do, or some of the manufacturers make them out of stainless steel or brass or something like that, because they're nice and heavy in the hand and they've got a good feel to them. So that's something that we can look forward to doing. And I sent an email out to one of the trimming companies which I went and photographed to see if they'd be interested in doing some of the straps. So we're trying to find some alternative places to make some wrist straps, just to give us some options. So hopefully we'll hear back from them tomorrow, which will be quite cool. Yeah, it's really exciting. So I'm going to do a quick blog post on the Colson Archery website. That's KOLSEN archery.com. I'm going to do a quick blog post on that about how we're using 3D printing for rapid prototyping and getting the ideas into production as quickly as we can. And then I can't wait to get that little HT1 that I showed you when I was cooking and burning my dinner. That little HT1 is going to be awesome. Can't wait to get that out. We've got so many people, which is really cool. So many people saying, I can't wait to try this, can't wait to have a go and see how it shoots, which is really positive. So I'm really excited about that. Right, just about to turn off. So thank you very much for listening. I think that's one of my verbal tics which I need to sort out. So this is what we're going to do. So Tim Ferriss he used to say literally, was it literally? I think he used to say literally a lot, and he had a little verbal challenge that if ever he said literally, was it literally? I can't remember what it was. Anyway, he kind of challenged himself not to say it, and it was whenever he said it, he had to say fucking after it. So it's like it is literally fucking and as soon as you kind of keep doing that, it wasn't literally, I can't think of the word that he says, but as soon as he does that, the brain, as soon as you've done it like 3 or 4 times, the brain just completely cuts that word out of your vocabulary. So I think I might have to do something with so. What should we do with so? So fucking hell. Anyway, cheers guys, bye. Doing a better job of not burning my lunch today. So corn sausages, bit of paprika, and a turkey burger. Yes! Fab. And there's a salad. Ooh. So, joke. Back here, that's the TPS, this here is the TPS, the throttle position sensor. So that detects where the throttle position is, and then that can send a signal back through the wiring to the ECU to tell it how much fuel to inject into the inlet manifold, into the throttle bodies. So I've got a setup here where I've got piggybacked onto the back of the throttle position sensors here. So I've got the positive and the negative feed, and that comes up to a multimeter here, and you can see as I twist, so as I'm twisting it here, look, as I'm twisting it and the ignition is on, the voltage will change there, and that voltage is what tells the ECU how much fuel to inject in. So turning it here, and what I need to get is, once the engine's warm, it's cold at the moment so I need to warm it up, once the engine is warm I need to get that bang on 0.5 volts, which is around there, get it bang on 0.5, and then tighten up the bolts which go into the TPS in there. So that, fingers crossed, is going to be the last thing that I can change and adjust on this, and then hopefully it'll run nice and smoothly. So I've already changed this is a mass airflow sensor, so that detects how much air is passing over that sensor there, which goes into the turbo. I've already changed the temperature, the coolant temperature sender, same thing, that tells the ECU through that wire how hot the engine is, and therefore whether to change how much to go into the throttle bodies, how much fuel to go into the throttle bodies. And then down here, that's the exhaust gas recirculating valve which I've blanked off. I have ordered a thicker piece of aluminium plate to make a better seal, so it will tighten up better on there. But other than that, we're good to go. Well, I hope. The video maybe tomorrow of it running a little bit better than it has been. Cross your fingers, please. So inside, I'm just going to flick on the fuel pumps, low pressure and the high pressure, and we're going to see if we can get this up to temperature. So, throttle position sensor is kind of guesstimated in the right place at the moment, and all we're going to do is we're just going to run it and get it up to temperature. Does seem to be running better though. Hey. Mass airflow sensor done, temperature sender done, distributor checked, coil checked, injectors checked, fuel regulator checked, TPS all set up, the EGR valve right down at the bottom down there blanked off, temperature sender sorted out. What else? I think that's everything. Still got a little bit of an oil leak on the turbo, but we can sort that out. So there we go. In we get. I'll click on fuel pumps, turn the fan on just in case. Idling a little bit low.
Get back to where you once belonged.